Hey Mia, I just finished your guitar and I am going to mail it out to you momentarily. I just needed to shoot one last video of me playing it a little bit, and now we're going to go back in time. It's a little time warp, and I'm going to show you the process of making this thing from scratch, because I've been shooting some video, taking some pictures of the whole process to do this guitar. These are the first guitars I've ever made like this, so there's probably gonna be little imperfections like all over the place. Little things, a little glue here, a little extra hole here, a little thing here and there. It's my process. I hope to make a bunch more of these guitars in the future. I had so much fun making yours, and I hope you really enjoy it. And I hope you rock out, and I hope you get as much joy out of playing this thing as I've had in making it for you. So thank you so much for the opportunity of being, you have to be a great niece to, warrant me to do something like this, and you're so awesome, and I hope you enjoy it, and Merry Christmas. Okay, here's a first little preparatory step for the painting process. Here we are. This is a bunch of my crazy musical instrument and bicycle shop stuff. And this is where we're going to do all the painting. And we just prepared this table. I put down some cardboard, put some painter's tape around it. I'm trying to not get tape on the table. We will see if I can succeed at that. And what we've got in here is a whole bunch of supplies. Look at all this fun stuff. All right, step -1, prepping for paint. Okay, so these are some of the colors. I took some of these cans over here, and I've got the primer ready, so that's still drying, but in the meantime, I'm trying to come up with maybe the color palette for the guitars. I'm seeing kind of a purple, turquoise, white combination as being kind of awesome. This is my little mess here in the middle, and I'm not totally sure yet, but I'm thinking over here is kind of a fun kind of combination of things. It's maybe a little bit more kind of like flowers and stuff. I'm not totally sure. I also got this. I don't know if you can read this. This is Intense Shimmer Finish. It's supposed to be glitter spray paint. Oops, I'm getting it all over myself. But if you look, it's not working. It like kind of spits out. So it's brand new. It's full of paint, but the nozzle's broken, so we're gonna have to go back to the store and replace this because we definitely need some glitter. There's also green glitter. See, we got some green glitter. This is gonna get in there. I don't know, there's not final colors, but this is the experiment. This is what we're seeing. And this, even though it just looks like a little wet spot with no color, it says that it is gonna make glow in the dark. So we're gonna, this is an experiment too. Glow in the dark. It's supposed to be some kind of a green. I don't know. Maybe if we, here we go. Here's the experiment. The experiment's gonna be if we do this on white. Is this dry? It's dry-ish. See, it's still, I don't know if there's great lighting in here, but it still looks pretty clear. So I think I can maybe sneak some glow in the dark over any color and make anything glow in the dark. This is what we're gonna, this is part of the experiment. We're gonna see how this all comes together, but I don't know. Just getting there. This is it's moving along. We're making a mess, having fun. It's pretty great. Alright, Mia, this is the super duper glow in the dark color. It goes on kind of clear. And if this works, it is going to, the white, which will be the little parts on the bottom, will shine if you get the light to it. We'll see. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, first layer. Let's get all of it, even the little spots I missed. This is the back. Let's see. Do we get it all off? Oh man. Wait, there's still some orange. This orange does not belong on here. Let's get this off of here. That's so cool. And here's a piece. Let's see that piece. Whoa. This is so cool. So this is a scroll saw. It does one thing, which is just go up and down. And I had to drill these holes in here and then put the blade in through the hole just to get it in there, because we're not making, it's an inside cut. We call this an inside cut, right? So I've got it in here. I got a little room to wiggle, and then I turned it on so I can get the light on also. Blam. And now it's just a matter of tracing the lines that I drew on here and not making too much of a shadow. Let's see. And it makes a bunch of dust, so I gotta keep blowing on it so I don't have a proper little dust evacuation system over here. It goes pretty slow. And I put a couple holes in here so I have a place to travel to. You can see this hole coming up. It's like when I come back around, it gives me little pieces I can pop out so I don't have to get one big thing all at once. See, I'm there. Pop it out, which, you know, allows me to get little pieces like this and little pieces like this. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, Mia, so I did the rough cut with this scroll saw right here. And now, before I take the tape off and move on, I've got these two files, right? And I'm just kind of going through and kind of cleaning up some of the circles that weren't like great, you know, and clean up some of the little splinter bits. So the next part is just to do the fine tuning and make it look really, really nice. So I want you to see this. This is just a piece of wood that I cut, and I taped this piece of paper to it. And the piece of paper is just kind of the outline for what we're going to be doing. And you can see here it says 20-inch scale, which means that's where it goes from boom, that knot to boom. That mark right there is 20 inches. And it says 24 frets. Frets are what these lines up and down are. And all that stuff is going to be on this side, so I drew out the lines here so I can cut them, and you'll see that process. And then I made these interesting marks. What's going to happen is all this stuff where the pencil is, see there's like this line, I'm out of focus I think, but boom, it goes down, it goes across, it pops back up right there, there we go, it goes back up and down, across, back up, and the front board is going to sit in this little groove here in the middle, and it's going to sit there, and here where it goes down is going to be extra open chamber where the sound will bounce around. This is where the screw is going to be on the front side. It's going to be sitting on this little piece right here. Then there'll be another little cavity or open space in the center behind the front board, and this will be, I mean, it's starting to take shape. This is where we start, and yeah, boom, it's coming along. Okay, this fun device is a drill press, and you see it's got this on it. When I move this, it moves the drill up and down. This is great for making really straight, clean holes, which is what we're trying to do, because we're going to put these guitar tuning pegs, and they go from behind, and they got to go through. So I matched this up with a drill bit that's the right size, and then all we got to do, hit the switch, and I pull this, and just go down. So Mia, this is the next phase. We've cut these little slots for the frets. That's what these things are called. This is called a fret for the guitar. And I get it in these big pieces, and I lay it in there, and then I kind of tap it into the little slot. And then I use these, and I cut it, and then I just keep going, and I add them all in there. And then after we do that, if you look, I don't know if the focus is very good, but you can see this thing right here. Look, it's like a razor blade. Like that is like gonna cut my finger. So then I gotta go through in what is a very long and very annoying process, but very worth it, to use all these different files to make that so it doesn't cut your little fingers. But this is how it has to happen. First you go in there and you do, you know, this little thing, you pop it in there. That's not going to focus, but anyway, this is the process. This is where we're at. That's the inside. You got this spring in here for a little bit of an extra reverb sound. Reverb like room noise, you know, like it kind of will vibrate a little bit and make the sound of the guitar sound a little fuller, is the hope. Like if you're in a big room like I am right now, you can hear that kind of echo go. Well, I want to get that same kind of sound out of this tiny little box, and hopefully that spring, when you play a string and the air on the inside of this box is wobbling, will get that spring to vibrate a little bit. And that's what they call a spring reverb. Reverb being the sound, spring being, you know, a spring. All right, here we go. Okay, the next phase, as we alluded to, this is the wheel, the crazy wheel. This is a grinder, and if I flip on the switch here, this thing just spins, and we're gonna take this, and when we go and touch the two things together, it's gonna grind down some of these pointy edges. I can't really do both at the same time, but this is what's going to happen next, and we're going to clean up some of these edges, and then we're going to go through with some of these files, like this file, and some of them, there's a couple of them over here.
first, we use this crazy thing. This is the next tool. I just finished these frets, so now when you touch them on the sides like this, you don't cut your fingers, which is, you know, usually a good thing for musical instruments. I use this cool little file. It's got a file on like a 45-degree angle. I don't know if you can see like that. And the wood part just kind of sits on here. I'd use a bunch of hand files, but the last is this, and just kind of slide it up and down. It takes off little bits of shavings. It's part of the process. And now we've got this. You can see the spring on the inside for the reverb. And I'm not going to film it because it's kind of a tricky process, but I'm going to use super awesome Gorilla Glue. And we're going to glue this thing together, and we're going to flip it upside down. And some of the glue is going to start pouring out the sides, and as it does, I'm going to try and clean it up. And yeah, that's the next phase. And that's going to mean from this point on, this thing is going to be really hard to open up and work on the inside. So I am hoping that we don't have to open this thing up ever to fix a spring that popped out or to fix an unglued joint or something. I don't think we will, but you know, we're learning kind of as we go along. So we are about to glue, and hopefully this thing stays together and sounding like an amazing musical instrument forever afterwards. So here's to that intention. Dun, dun, dun. This is the guitar upside down, and I just glued it, and I've got these clamps holding that front board up into the box exactly where I want it with all this glue. I just put it in there, and the glue takes like, for the next 2 hours, the glue kind of expands and fills all the holes and stuff like this. This is why I've got it upside down, because I want the glue to flow into, you know, the front, this side, to expand into the face, the front side of the guitar. And as this is happening, every, 20 minutes or so, I'm going to come over, I'm going to be like wiping glue out. Glue is going to start dripping out of here and expanding all over, kind of like, here's some from Jimmy's that came out, and it's still wet, and this one's been drying for like 3 hours, and this stuff is still wet, but his guitar is mostly dry. You can see this is even after me wiping it after about 2 hours. See this little yellow stuff right here? I wiped this about an hour ago, and it's still expanding out as it dries. So we got his upside down as well, and we want to make no air gaps in between the front face of the guitar down here. The only holes we want are the F holes in the front down here. That's the ideal situation. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be perfect or not, but that's what we're going for. So that's what this is looking at right now. And this is upside down. We've got some more clamps. Jimmy's was the first one to start the gluing process about 3 hours ago. You're starting now, and Cammy's will be next.